Well, I gotta say, stories this week I found to be kind of light.
Yeah.
And so I concocted just a little game for you guys. I figured we'd do a
Ooh.
little trivia game.
Ooh, trivia.
And we're going to see. Now, I didn't put a ton of effort into this, but I'm going to see how well you guys know your DC comics.
Ooh.
So I'm going to ask
I
you
was
some.
hoping it was going to be porn stars.
Yeah, that'd be
Maybe
better.
next week. So I'm going to ask you some trivia questions here, and just the first one who chimes in gets it. If you guys are stumped, maybe I'll throw in some multiple choice.
Batman.
Right?
I will say, I didn't I'm not going to use all the ones on this list because some of them I think are actually pretty terrible, and maybe I'll throw in some of my own. But like I said, I didn't put a ton of. But there was a couple different websites, and one of them had really obscure shit that even I didn't know. I was like, I'm not going to use these. And one of them was just so easy that I'm like, oh, I'm not going to use these. I thought this one had the best kind of in betweeners. Okay. Question number one. What is the name of the criminal that killed Bruce Wayne's parents?
Oh, Joe Chill.
AJ gets the point.
Aren't there different stories? Or it's always the same guy?
I think it's in the comics it comes down to him. I think they have done things well, maybe this other guy hired him to do it,
Oh, okay.
and things like that. And of course, in the Batman '89 movie, they changed it so that Joker killed his parents. But
I'm pretty obviously going to get my ass kicked.
these are comic based. There's some. Now this one's pretty easy. You should know this. What villain paralyzed Barbara Gordon?
Was she paralyzed in any videos? Or is it a comic?
This is a comic, a very famous comic.
I'm going to have to say it's one of the main ones, right?
I'll give you a hint. It's an Alan Moore Batman comic. I can't give you the title. That would give it away.
The Killing Joke? Is it the Joker?
It is the Joker.
Okay.
Man, I was surprised that took so long.
I don't remember that.
That's
I'm pretty sure I read that. But
I mean, that's a very famous storyline. Okay, this is one I'll just throw in here related to that. What is Barbara Gordon's superhero name after she gets paralyzed? Or what do they call her in the...
Wheels?
Wheels in the Leg Man.
Wheels McGillicuddy.
Nobody knows?
No.
Oracle.
Oh.
Oh, that does actually sound familiar.
This one you might be able to get because we watched the Wonder Woman movie. What is Wonder Woman's mother's name?
Is it like Heraclitus or something?
It is not Heraclitus.
How is it?
I'll give you the multiple choice that they have here. Is it A, Hippolyta? Or
Hippolyta.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe these are too hard.
My memory for details is really shitty.
Connor Hawke is the son of what hero?
Hawkeye.
You're in the wrong
horrible.
universe.
Connor Hawk.
Birdman.
Still wrong universe.
You're not even going to say Hawkman, who is in the DCU. I'll give you a hint. This would be
Shiara's son?
this would be DC's version of Hawkeye.
Oh, what's his name? Arrow.
Green.
Green Arrow. Yeah.
Man, I got to tell you, you guys, I don't know.
I haven't read any of those.
In the comics, what villain was elected president of the United States?
Lex Luthor.
Yeah, Lex.
Yes.
I got one.
Which Green Lantern Corps member came from the planet Bolivax Vic?
They wouldn't mind getting my Bullavaxed.
Sinestro.
It's a good guess, but
I don't even know my Green Lanterns.
Sinestro's from Koragar. Because I'm a nerd. Kilowog.
I couldn't have
Kilowatt
guessed.
hour.
What planet does nth metal come from?
Earth.
No.
Middle Earth.
Krypton?
No. All good guesses. These are at least all in the DC universe. I don't know if you guys get this one. Thanagar.
Oh, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Not even.
Now, do you know what heroes are from Thanagar?
Thanos.
We mentioned them a little bit ago. This would be Hawkman and Hawkwoman.
Shiara?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sierra Hall and Carter Hall.
Yeah, right.
They have a really weird, convoluted history, though.
In the shows, like they came from ancient Egypt or something. So in the comics, it's something else.
I haven't read a ton of them. It's weird. It's like that's where they first met, but then they continually die and then are reborn and they meet each other and fall in love again and somehow they continue that cycle. I don't know, it's really strange. I don't really know all the ins and outs of it. I think it gets pretty convoluted. Oh man, let's see, that one's too this one I guessed right because they give multiple choice, but it was one that I had never heard of. What speedster adopted the alias Siegfried the Speedster? I'll give you multiple choice. Is it A, Jay Garrick, B, Barry Allen, C, Wally West, or D, Bart Allen?
That last guy.
No. That means you get...
See?
No. It was Jay Garrick, the old Flash. Let's see. This isn't a good one. Okay, this one I think you guys will be able to get. In the famous storyline Death of Superman, what villain killed Superman?
Oh, what's his name? Doomsday.
Yes. Which superhero lost his father in a plane crash at an early age?
Hal Jordan.
Yes. This one's a bit tougher, but you might be able to get it. Who did Wonder Woman kill in the storyline Sacrifice?
What's his name? The guy who was in the movie, Max. Max. What was his name? Max.
You're on the right track.
Lord. Maxwell Lord.
Yes. That's good. I actually didn't think you guys would get that one.
Not even close.
Now, this one, there might be more than one people that in the comics over the years that qualify for this, but what villain discovered Batman's secret identity by deduction?
I mean, the Riddler would be my first guess.
That's a good guess. And I think at points in the comics,
Ra's
maybe
al
he
Ghul,
did know, but that's not...
Bane.
Actually, you know what? This is why this is a bad question. Because Ra's al Ghul did it as well. But the answer is Hugo Strange, which is true. But you're right. Ra's al Ghul did it as well. Yeah, this one would be impossible to get. This one, I'll give whoever gets closest, I'll give the win to.
Batman.
In the comics, what year did Clark Kent and Lois Lane get married?
Like 1973?
Okay, he's saying 73. What are you going to go with?
74.
Well, you win. That was a good ploy. But you guys
is right at me.
you guys are way off. 1996.
Oh.
I was thinking it was the 80s because I do vaguely remember that. Like they bumped up their sales.
And they kept them dating for like 50 years, like 40, 50 years. Dang. Superman's the ultimate simp.
Man, this is one that, again, I guessed right, but I had really no idea. This one I'll definitely give you the choices because it's so obscure. What is the meaning of the secret society's motto, odorant dum metuant? Is it A, let them hate as long as they fear, or B, let them bleed at our feet.
Hey.
Yeah, that's it.
All I know is I got divorced after I said that.
This one I'm not going to give it to you, but this is a true or false I gave, but it's like so detailed that it had to be true. Real or fake, or true or false. There was a storyline involving Superman's babysitter trying to get him out of the microwave while the Kents were having sex in a motel. I will say I've never read that issue. I want to find out what it is. But
Why was he in the microwave?
Well, the Kents were having sex, or Superman was having sex.
it says the Kents were having sex at a motel, and the babysitter was babysitting it, and apparently he got in the microwave.
Superman was in
Superman, the baby, as a baby, got in the microwave.
Oh. Yeah.
They actually show a little picture of it here, but I have no idea what comic it's actually from.
Can you imagine him being like 3 states away and you can still hear his parents having sex? He probably was trying to microwave himself.
I actually like I've never actually, despite our name, done any stand-up comedy, but like I've always kind of in the back of my mind thought maybe I should try an open mic once just for the fun of it. And so like I had this bit of kind of similar to that about Superman, where like, can you imagine, because like most Superman like stories, like he starts gaining his powers when he's like what, like 10 or 11 maybe, like
teens or something.
yeah. And so I'm like what was that like when he's like at night he's like, oh, I hear mom and dad, mom and pa, and you know,
They're in a fight.
they're in a fight or something. Something's wrong. Well, I'll just use my newly found X-ray vision to see what's. Oh my God! What the fuck?
He's hurting her.
He grew up on a farm. He knows what's going
Oh
on.
yeah, that's true.
And then I was gonna tag it with something about how like, you know, I always thought Bruce Wayne had the gritty like origin story, but because of that, Superman did. I was like, we found out that their origin both involved their mothers and a pearl necklace.
Dude, we gotta talk about the plot holes then. Like, you're telling me that Superman got his powers at 10, but the bad guys, the Kryptonians who got to Earth, got their powers like immediately and fought him?
Well,
It's like a puberty or something, right? Like story.
I mean,
That was from the sun.
they get it from the sun, but maybe they're like don't absorb it as quickly when they're younger. Who knows? I'm sure they've come up with something.
Yeah, it does seem like they're like, at least some of the things I saw where like he's a kid and he was still like strong or something. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? He should have saved his dad. I mean, in the movie, at least what they show, like, he definitely should have saved his dad. That was the total missed opportunity. Shouldn't have let that happen. What would it have cost him to be Superman then compared to later on, you know?
Well, you know, I was listening to a podcast once of people talking about that, and one of the guys said something that I think was right, which is if they had that same scene, but instead of using Henry Cavill, they used the teenage boy that was playing him, like, then you could buy it. If he was still that young, then maybe you could buy that he would do that. But when he's Henry Cavill, you're like, yeah, why wouldn't he have just saved him? You didn't. It was hard to buy, right?
Yeah.
I still like that movie a lot, but that is one of the moments there you're like, they should have done something different there.
Yeah,
It didn't quite work.
yeah. I mean, he doesn't like killing people either, but he snapped Zod's neck, right? So he'll break a rule if it matters enough. He saved that family, you know?
Well, I mean, and that's what got a lot of criticism for Man of Steel is that he killed Zod. My thing, like, if I had my druthers, I probably would have made it so he didn't kill Zod. But I didn't have the problem that a lot of people had with it, because, like, in the context of that continuity of that story, like, he hadn't had his powers that long. Like, you could understand him maybe not having the foresight to think things out super well. Like, get the fight away from the city. You know, find a different way of subduing Zod without killing him. You know, a more seasoned Superman would, but maybe, you know, a new Superman that just discovered his powers would make those mistakes. So I was okay with it, but I know a lot of people weren't.
All right.
Well, I gotta say, AJ definitely knows more about DC Comics than you. That was fun, though. I might have to do that again next week with a different topic. What topics do you think you guys would be more?
Oh, I'd know more about Marvel.
I don't know, general trivia. I've read a lot of like independent comics, but I haven't like forayed into like the traditional DC Marvel that much.